This Week at Bungie is a weekly blog post posted by Bungie themselves, which updates us, the player base, about what's going on in Destiny 2. This week at Bungie discusses quite a few interesting things. Number one, they talk about basically a recap of some Festival of the Lost stuff, as well as the exotics that we saw in yesterday's trailer. They then go on to talk about the entire New Light experience, talking about a bunch of stuff going on within the Cosmodrome whenever Beyond Light first launches. And then they also talk about a bunch of changes that they're going to be making to the mods that are currently in the game, removing some, buffing some, nerfing some, and everything like that, and changing the way that mods work in a few different areas. We also have some information about Cipher Decoders, about when the raid is going to be taking place, as well as when we're going to be seeing some weapon rebalancing, as well as a future Vidoc which Bungie has just finished recording, and we may be seeing some huge Beyond Light information in that coming up sometime soon. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's talk about the Cosmodrome and the New Light experience. Bungie starts off by saying, "Burn bright, new light." Over the last year, there's been a lot of great feedback about the new player experience in Destiny 2. Currently, players are given a single mission to become acquainted with some basic gameplay, and then let loose in the tower without much direction on where to go or what to do next. This led to some confusion, as many players didn't exactly know where to start. Who's that robot that's meticulously cleaning an auto rifle? What do I do with these engrams? And what's a Zavala? The team has been working to restructure the on-ramp for Destiny 2, and today we'll be giving a small glimpse into the New Light experience. Starting November 10th, players will start in the same way that most of us have. A ghost will be on the hunt for their guardian, and they'll stumble upon you. They'll revive you for the first time. What's different now is that you won't immediately find a ship. Rather, you'll stumble into another guardian in the wild. They then go on to talk about this new character named Shaw Han. Shaw Han is his name, and he's on a mission with his fire team to investigate what the Hive are up to in the Cosmodrome. He'll show you the ropes and help you find your way among the gameplay and systems of Destiny 2. As a new player, you'll spend your first few missions getting acquainted with the state of the world in Destiny 2, and you'll have the opportunity to take a few weapons out for a spin, find engrams to try different armor, and see our progression systems, and have some time to learn how to navigate the user interface to understand quests, bounties, collections, and more. All of this will happen before you set foot in the tower, and our hope is that this refreshed New Light experience will give a much warmer welcome to Guardians as they play Destiny 2 for the first time. They say that with the Cosmodrome coming out of the DCV, this gave us the perfect opportunity to overhaul our new player experience. For veteran players out there, this will be a stroll through memory lane. While the plague lands are strictly quarantined per Vanguard orders, you'll still be able to explore much of what you remembered from the first days as a Guardian, running through the moth yards to collect spin metal, heading down the stairs or the steps to face off against powerful Hive Knights, and more. There will be occasional moments of discovery, like stumbling upon a lost sector that you haven't seen before. If you're an existing player and would like to go through the New Light quest, it'll also be available to you on November 10th. We're excited to see how new players react to our revamped New Light experience, and for many of you to get your boots back on the ground in the Cosmodrome. Eyes up, Guardian. Now, before we go on to the rest of this video, I just kind of want to talk about this a little bit. This sounds really awesome. I honestly like how Bungie's going about this. I hope that it sounds, I hope that it is as good as it sounds on paper. Introducing a whole new character, Shaw Han, and him being a guardian that you're going to be fighting alongside. He's going to be teaching you things while you're out there in the Cosmodrome. It sounds really good. It sounds like a much better, newer, player experience than anything that I've heard of with Destiny 2. The whole New Light experience for Destiny 2 currently is so bad that even whenever I made my own beginner's guide, that thing is at like 33,000 views, and Destiny's been out for so long now, and even people are still searching for these beginner guides trying to understand the game. We all know Destiny is a fantastic game, but it's only that whenever you get a good grasp on it. So I'm really glad to see that Bungie's really focusing in on this New Light experience, making a new character, crafting a narrative, giving you an area to explore, and giving older players a reason to go back for things like new lost sectors or just checking out this character and seeing how everything goes. I really like what Bungie's doing here, so hats off to them, and I hope it ends up going well. Now, before we jump into what Bungie has to say about mods, there's a few things that I do want to bring up. Number one, if you are taking part of the Festival of the Lost and you haven't been getting Cipher Cipher Decoders to drop all that often, Bungie just pushed out a hot fix so that you will then have a drastically increased chance for Cipher Decoders, and I've heard that the best ways to farm them is to get a full fire team and jump into some nightmare hunts. But I've also heard that it's around a 50% chance if you're doing things like strikes and Crucible and Gambit, so it sounds like they're dropping a lot more than what they previously were, so do keep that in mind. We also got another tweet from the community manager which mentioned about when we're going to be hearing information about the raid and sandbox balancing. He ended up saying that we know that you're eager to get the exact launch date so that you can plan your time off and sick days, and that we're going to be getting that information very soon, so we will be hearing a lot more about the raid very soon. And he also talks about the sandbox changes like weapon balancing and that that's going to be planned for a future week. Previously he did say it's guaranteed to be in October, so do keep your eyes out of the channel for that. The last thing I want to mention before we go on to the rest of the TWAB is the Vidoc that is being recorded. Apparently Bungie just finished recording a Vidoc, which is a video documentary, and they do these every now and again to basically hype up DLCs and talk about design philosophies and showcase a bunch of new content. Definitely keep your eyes out for that because this should be dropping sometime soon. Carrie does work at Bungie. She did a lot of the recording and was a part of it, and she ended up tweeting out about how they got done with it. So I'm very excited for that, seeing whenever that's going to be releasing. It should be around a week or two before Beyond Light launches. Now without further ado, let's finish off the TWAB and let's talk about mods. So Bungie ends up talking about mod modifications. We're a little over a month out from Beyond Light, 33 days to be precise. We have quite a bit to cover between now and then, from sandbox updates to how your various economies are being updated. Sandbox is always a hot topic of discussion, and today we'll be diving a bit deeper into the ways you can customize your gameplay experience through armor mods. Armor mods are used to elevate your reload speed, ability regen, and more to higher levels. And in November, some of the mods you commonly use are going to be tuned. Some mods will be buffed, while others are going to be removed altogether. Here we're going to dive into a patch note preview of sorts with snippets of developer commentary. They say that energy type requirements, all of the weapon-oriented mods like hand cannon loader, fusion rifle ammo, etc. have been changed to any energy type. As a result of the above changes, all arc charged with light mods now activate their second perk if you have any other arc mod equipped at the same armor piece. Basically, they're just kind of making this so it's not going to be, super specific, right? It's not going to be, you have to have hand cannon, you have to have fusion rifle. It's just going to be energy weapon, energy weapon reloader, energy weapon ammo finder, stuff like that, which I think that's honestly a pretty good change. They talk about enhanced mod rebalancing. They say that all mods that have enhanced versions of that mod, like enhanced hand cannon loader, have had the base mod's efficiency increase to match that of the enhanced version of the mod. As a result, those enhanced mods have been deprecated, and the base mods' energy costs have been adjusted upward slightly. Some mods have been moved to different slots to create more competition for mod sockets across armor pieces. For example, the fast ready mods have been moved to the arms socket. They also talk about raid mods, and I think that this one's very interesting. They say that starting in Season 12, the Last Wish, Garden of Salvation, and the upcoming Beyond Light raid armors will drop with a 5th dedicated armor mod socket that is exclusive for mods related to the raid. Last Wish and Garden armor acquired prior to Season 12 will not have this mod slot, but will still be able to use the mods related to the raid. Anti-Taken mods from Last Wish will only function in the Last Wish raid. Anti-Hive mods from the Leviathan raid will be deprecated, and Anti-Fallen mods from Scourge of the Past will be deprecated, so they're getting rid of those. Regarding the deprecation of the Anti-Hive and Anti-Fallen mods, the restriction of the Anti-Taken mods to Last Wish, this is something that we've had our eyes on for a while. We consistently get feedback that faction-specific mods are highly unbalanced outside of the content that they were intended to work in. In this case, it's the raids. Because these are useful with any instance of combatant race, activity designers, and sandbox designers, we're constantly having to be aware of how these mods would impact those activities. They have proven to be problematic in Gambit and have significantly reduced the challenge of dungeons. With the raids that provided the source of these mods going to the DCV, we have the opportunity to gracefully remove these mods and their long-reaching consequences. Last Wish, which was designed and balanced with its anti-Taken mods in mind, will remain part of the game and continue to reward players with its mods. However, to prevent those far-reaching consequences mentioned above, we're aligning those mods with the other raid mods and making them function only in the raid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give my opinion on this right now. I know a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are not going to like this change, but honestly, I can see where they're coming from. I mean, it kind of gives the anti-taken mods more, I guess you could say, gives them a place to belong, because, you know, back in Destiny 1, a lot of the raid armor that you would get would give you bonuses for the raid specifically, and, you know, this is kind of the same system where you get the Last Wish armor and you get the Last Wish mods, and that's basically boosting your abilities within the raid for the next times that you go back and run it and everything like that. And, you know, I can definitely see where Bungie's talking about, you know, it makes the game not as difficult, it makes it too much of a cakewalk, it's really unbalanced in pretty much every aspect of the game, so I like it. These mods are no longer quote-unquote, you know, just anti-faction mods, they're basically just raid mods now, so they're only going to be useful there. I imagine that the new Beyond Light raid is going to have a new set of Fallen mods, assuming that we are going to be fighting Fallen in the raid. But, you know, I personally like this. I honestly don't have much of an issue with it. You know, taking Barrier for the Prophecy Dungeon, for Solo Flawless, just made that thing a cakewalk, and just, I don't know. I see where they're coming from, but I can see some people, you know, viewing this as a bit of a controversial thing. Lastly, they go on to talk about combat mods. They said that all armor released in Beyond Light in Season 12, all Last Wish and Garden of Salvation armor acquired starting in Season 12, and all the 2.0 exotic armor pieces will have a combat-style mod socket. In Season 12, the socket will accept all Charged with Light and Warmind Cell mods. All Armor 2.0 armor acquired during Seasons 8 through 11 have had their seasonal mod sockets replaced with a single, unified Legacy mod socket that can socket all the Charged with Light mods, all Warmind Cell mods, all Nightmare Hunt mods, Garden of Salvation, and Last Wish. And with that, we've come to an end for our armor mod patch preview. In the coming weeks, we'll shift focus to your arsenal, which is your weapons. We have a handful of weapon archetypes that are being tuned with some hefty changes that may surprise you. Stay tuned. So honestly, I kind of like what Bungie's doing here. I like how they're simplifying stuff with hand cannon loader into just like energy loader, and you know the changes they're making to the enhanced mods, and making the mods that you get from the raids into raid mods, making them only usable there and not being able to run rampant and kind of screw up the balance of everything else outside of them. Kind of gives me a Destiny 1 feel where you run the raid, you get the gear, and then you're able to run it easier next time, because it basically is like, you know, you mastering the raid, and it's a really cool thing to experience, just getting stronger at that specific raid the more that you play, and it's something that I miss, and it's something that I like a lot. And that's pretty much it for the TWAB. The last thing that they end up talking about is the Season of Arrivals title. They talk about the Beyond Light release and how they're going to be doing, you know, maintenance before it comes out, re-downloading the game and stuff, you know, before the maintenance is up so that you can be ready for Beyond Light. And they also talk about the Ruinous Effigy quest, Traveler's Chosen, and all that other kind of stuff being vaulted, because that is a part of this season. So that's pretty much it for the TWAB. That's pretty much it for all the information that we had to go over in today's video, and I gotta say, it's a pretty positive one. I do like everything that we talked about here. The mod changes are cool, the new light experience is freaking awesome, and of course we got that Vidoc on the horizon, the Cipher Decoder fixes, and everything like that. I think there's a pretty good news drop in my opinion, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys in tomorrow's Festival of the Lost video. Thank you guys so much for the support. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you all next time.